And so Stan is getting our friends seated there in the back, and I just want to say, God afternoon, family, and welcome to the first community trio fundraiser for the Freedom to Choose Project. We are making history here today. Yeah. Indeed, we're making a world that works for everyone with no one left out. This was once just a dream in somebody's mind, and then we all came together collectively because we all had the dream, and we're making it happen here today. So, my gratitude to you. Welcome to the AHIAH Center for Spiritual Living. If you have felt the energy here, it may be because Yogananda built this center as a place of peace. And so that energy, that presence is still here. And like I always say, if you spot it, you've got it. You brought it here. So we like to start everything with prayer here at AHIAH. So I would just invite you to join with me as we just turn within for a moment. And we just close our eyelids if you're comfortable, and we just breathe. We just breathe in straight from the heart of that one who created us out of herself. And we call on that name. We call on the name of the one who has many names and who responds to them all. We call her Mother, Father, God. We say Allah, Shiva, Yahweh, Jehovah, Christ, Jesus. Whatever that name is in your heart of hearts, we call it right here and right now. And instantly, it calls us back. Because it knows our number. It knows who we are. It knows whose we are. Yes. It is not confused about the absolute truth that it has created us out of itself. That we are created out of its light, out of its love, its joy, its peace, its intention. And so it is from this place, in union with the one, that we remember the absolute truth that I am what thou art, that thou art what I am, and that this day is a day of God's business, of good business. This is a day of healing and revealing. I'm blessing this event, blessing all of those who are here by divine appointment, knowing that this event is about a shifting and an uplifting in the consciousness of humankind. And so we are planting the seed right here and right now, saying that we are standing in the intention of turning prisons into places of healing. That we are standing in the intention of releasing the prisoner inside of our own consciousness. That we are standing in the intention of affirming, declaring, and decreeing our freedom to choose a world that works for everyone with no one left out. And so our hearts are overflowing with gratitude for the love that's here today, the peace that's here, the healing taking place in this very moment. And so I just simply say, thank you, sweet Spirit. Thank you, God, for these beloved ones. Thank you for these light workers who have said yes to shifting the plan. And so, with my heart overflowing with gratitude, I simply release this word unto the Lord. And in agreement and one accord, we say, and so it is. And so it is. Amen. Amen. And so, thanks to the miracle of modern technology, oh, that means battery. Okay. So we'll take care of it. Marquise, can you go get Reverend Charles to get a couple of batteries while we work on this technology issue? Thank you very much.
Should I pause it?
No, don't pause it. So we're just going to act like we know that God is in charge and all is well. Because we got a backup. And that's the way God works, right? Just when you think it's not going to work, God pulls a rabbit out of the hat. God's got a backup. Yes? So I am graced to be able to introduce to you a friend of mine. And I just want to share with you, those don't know that I I went to the University of Santa Monica for a spiritual psychology degree. Because so many friends in my life had these degrees, and there was some ineffable quality about them, you know. People like Jamie Lula, like AHIAH Mason, you know, these people were moving in a way that I wanted to move in the world. And when I found out later, Reverend Cynthia was my practitioner from AHIAH Church, Cynthia James, and what I found out later is that they had all gone to USM. They all had this degree in spiritual psychology. And so through a strange turn of events, I ended up at USM in 2005. And then they showed me this film about this freedom to choose work that they were doing in prison. And the day that I saw it, I said, I'm going there. So they wouldn't let me go until 2009 when I graduated. They said, you got to be a graduate to go inside here. So like, okay, all right. So finally 2009 rolls around. They take me up to Chowchilla. They walk me into the bowels of this prison. We go in Sallyport and door after door. And when they slam the doors, they make a loud noise to let you know that you are on the inside. And I was like, dang, why they slam the door so hard? You know, I know I'm in here, but I'm not too comfortable about it. So finally we get in there, we get in this gym, and I'm standing around, and all the little USM worker bees are in there working like they do. And I'm standing in the middle of the floor like I'm in kindergarten on the first day of school. Like asking myself, what am I doing in here? I'm in prison. Dang, what if it's an earthquake? You know, like what if it's a riot? What if somebody don't like me? You know, like I'm in here, I can't get out, right? And this beloved angel, Marlene, who's out now, thank God, she got released. Marlene walks up to me and she says, this your first time here? And I just shook my head like that, you know? She said, don't worry, ain't nothing gonna happen. And today, I love going inside there. I love going inside because when we're in that gym, the energy is like a kindergarten. It is so light-filled. And so, I learned about the power of the light. The power of that light that is our consciousness to transform an environment, to transform a community, to transform a world by going into that gym and experiencing firsthand. But you know, I could talk to you till the cows come home, try to tell you what this is about, but it's like tea. You got to pick up the cup and taste it for yourself. And that's why you're all here. Because today you're going to experience that light because it's your light and you're going to create it. Okay, is that a good agreement? Yes? All right, okay, so let's get this show on the road. So, one time we were at the men's prison. We started going into the men's prison, the VSP. And at the end, we're going to have large group sharing. We're going to pass the mic around, and if you feel so moved to share, we're going to ask you to speak into the mic like this. Right? And you get the chance to contribute to the healing in the room, to share about your experience, what you saw, what you observed, and you know what you experienced, right? So one time we're at the men's prison, and this guy gets up and he says, "You people are like dinosaurs." He says, "I read about dinosaurs. I heard that there was dinosaurs on the planet, but I never seen one." He says, "But now I'm seeing you people coming in here doing what other people have dreamed about, have talked about doing. You know, bringing light into a place that was formerly filled with darkness, you know." And this man became my friend. And you know, by the grace of God and the work that we do and the work that he did, he is now in the free world. He's sharing his life. He's an amazing brother. I want to introduce you to my friend and now your friend, Cornelius Dunn.
Good afternoon, family. And I say family because that was the word I labeled the FTC members after my first encounter. It started with David and Bonnie and Uncle Howard coming in and asking some of us leaders of the VSP community, would we be interested in getting to understand emotional and spiritual intelligence on a deeper level? And I stood up and I was like, yes, I'm in. And from that point, things started moving forward, and the wonderful members of FTC came to visit us. And as Michael was saying, transforming the environment is what this organization do. It's amazing how they come in like miniature angels, like just working angels, transforming every element of a prison setting to conform one room into God's backyard. Like when you enter it, the energy, you can feel it just vibrating through your soul, touching you in a way that you haven't been touched, freeing you from fear, freeing you from judgment, jealousy. You step into another realm while still being here on earth. So me and my brothers in blue, we would go off in here and we would sit down with men and women we did not know, thinking, some of us before entering the room, that life was kind of hopeless, that we possibly could die behind those walls, or that no one else cared for us, that we were the trash that society didn't want, that we were the lost, discarded. But then they would say, hold up, wait a minute, we've come to the lost and found to let you know you were never forgotten. You've just been in a moment of time out, but we're here. And they would sit down and they would share the intimates of their lives with us. And in that, we would shed wet diamonds. And that's what I call tears. Because tears of healing is valuable. So you can call them wet diamonds from this moment on. My grandmother wouldn't mind. She passed that on to me. But I'm going to share with you guys a little bit about me so you can get a deeper understanding of how I ended up in that environment in the first place. Like, I was born to a mother who actually had 6 other children, but none of them made it past 18 months. I was her blessed child, the only one who has ever succeeded. And I didn't know this. So as a little boy, she used to protect me. But I thought she was attempting to hold me back. You know, sometimes you women, you deal with heartache that you don't think a child should know about. But what I didn't understand was, in her protection, my thought process was I was less than. So I started attempting to be an overachiever in the only area where you didn't need your mother's signature to let you go. You know, like if you want to play sports, you need your mama's signature. If you want to go and participate in certain things in school, you need your mother's signature. And because she was so afraid, and she would never say that because she's a strong black woman, right? She'd just say, you listen to me, and that's it. I drifted off into the street life because you don't need your mother's signature. And that street life started to swallow me up because I was an overachiever. I wanted to go above and beyond. And the whole time I was only hoping that my mama would see that I'm a strong little boy. You know, you can trust in me. I can play football. I can do some things. Before you knew it, I was really engulfed in that lifestyle, believing that was my only way to find success, to find happiness, to find joy. But because I was hurting, I also started to intoxicate myself. Because if we don't know how to express our pain, we will then start to medicate our pain. So that was me. I was medicating my pain. And then I had this dream. In the course of it, I'm about 16 now. And this dream, I fell inside of a hole. I was running free. Imagine this. Running free. thinking the world is yours. Bushes about this high, but they look like beautiful plants and flowers. The sun was cascading on my caramel skin as I ran, just yes, yes, yes. And then the whole bottom dropped out, and I'm falling into this darkness. And boom, it's cold, and I can't see anything. And I start feeling around, and finally, light started to come a little bit when I put my hand on something, and I couldn't understand what it was. But the more the light would start to illuminate the darkness, I realized it was a book. The book was giving light, and it was giving light at the same time. And all that I was on that was seeming hard and cold and foreign, as the light came brighter, I started to see it as rubies and diamonds, things that you would imagine like from an old pirate movie. This is what I'm seeing in my dream, and why am I laying on all of these riches? And I carried that reoccurring dream for many years until I realized what it was. I realized what it was after doing some work by going to those books. One of them is called The Good Book. Can I say it? Here's somebody say amen. Yeah. So I went to The Good Book. But also in The Good Book, it told me, beware of a man who only reads one book. So I started reading some more books. And my knowledge started to expand, and the understanding became clear what the jewels were. I had fallen into the pit upon other talents and potentials of human beings. So when I went into that gym, it was exposed that it is us human beings who carry wealth within us. And each one of us is a key of life, a key of freedom, a key of wisdom, a key of understanding for the next human being. And if you just sit in a trio and tell about how you was hurt, how life has banged up against you, without me saying, child, this is what you need to do. The energy within that trio will allow you to become a spiritual mechanic. And you could correct yourself because the anointing is already there. That's what FTC teaches us. And you, ladies and gentlemen, are going to get an opportunity to experience that today. So I challenge you to go against everything that they told you about. Don't share your business. Y'all know what I'm talking about. We're trained from an early age that what happens in the house stays in the house. What goes on in your life is supposed to be just for you. Don't share your business with other people because they don't care. But when you sit in these trios and you say, I'm going to be brave, I'm going to be a superwoman, I'm going to be a superman, and I'm going to just put it out there, you'll be surprised of how you will heal from that. Because these people ain't here to judge you. They're not here to give you the solutions. They're just here to say, I hear you. And how does that feel? So today, after doing 5 years straight, going to every big workshop that FTC had, by the grace of God and the continuous understanding of who I am as a man, understanding that what I've done in the past does not define who I am today, having an ambition and an aspiration to do better with my life than I've done with my past, I stand before y'all today free. Yes. Thank you. After 25 years, I had to forfeit 25 years. And I must say at this moment that it's not as you guys applied me, I applied my God, and I continue to send prayers out to those that are harmed. Because yes, I went through a lot, but I caused a lot of havoc. And I'm sure you ladies and gentlemen understand, if y'all do not do some healing of yourselves, you will be causing havoc in other people's lives. Intentionally or unintentionally. But today, we can start that healing process. And with that, me and Michael's going to get ready to take us on this journey, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your time.
So, family, you have heard our stories. We've introduced ourselves. We are not the sage on the stage. We are the guide on the side. So we're going to be supporting you in this process. But first, I would like to out any volunteers in the room. Would the volunteers say, ow? Please stand and show yourselves.
Yes. Yes. Give them Barbara.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Okay. And so she's not a volunteer. She works hard for her money. Our executive director and general counsel, Barbara Van Sickle, please.
Please stand.
Indeed. And let's see, who else do we need to? Did you stand up, Shaman? Shaman will be our timekeeper, and so her job will be made evident in just a moment. She's going to keep us, hey, family. So, did you guys stand up too? Board members, yeah, board members.
All board members.
Freedom to Choose board members, please.
Okay, wait.
Yeah.
Now, we can't get to introducing all of them without introducing the fruit.
That's right.
You know, because a tree that does not bear good fruit is a tree that needs to be picked up or rooted, pulled out, right?
Yeah.
So, all my former brothers in blue and ladies in blue, please stand up. You guys will hear a little something from them a little later. These are men and women who have been on this journey and done awesome things as well. And a lot of them gained their emotional intelligence in this organization as well.
Indeed. So we'll hear from our mentors in just a moment. So you want to welcome and kick us off?
Okay, so welcome to Freedom to Choose Project. And my first question to Michael, what is freedom to choose?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. As formally being like a school project, and then it evolved into a foundation, and now today it is a nonprofit 501c3. It is organized specifically for compassionate experiential education for a transformation of life. You've met our executive director, and you are all here facilitating its next evolution into a movement, because Freedom to Choose is a movement. It's a planetary movement. You know, I'm just going to say this one time. You know, I'm a recovering revolutionary. And what I discovered is that the revolution is a human revolution. It's the revolution of human consciousness. Yes? Mm-hmm. That's my recovery. So, the name of our nonprofit is based on the work of Viktor Frankl, who was a Jewish psychiatrist interned during World War II. He realized while he was incarcerated in a Nazi concentration camp that you could take absolutely everything away from a person except one thing, and that's the freedom to choose their attitude. That's the one thing that we all have dominion over. And so, today we get to explore what that really means about choosing our attitude, choosing under any given set of circumstances, choosing how we will proceed.
Exactly. I mean, that is the freedom. The real freedom that each and every one of us possess. However, many people go day in and day out forfeiting their freedom, allowing events to happen in your life, knowing internally you have the right, the freedom to choose how you will respond to it, what you will say in response to it, how you will feel about it. It's all internal. But many of us, we go with what society tells you. And they don't want you to have freedom. They want you to have what they have told you you should feel, or what they want you to think. But today, we're all going to be freedom takers. Y'all ready? We're going to take our freedom back.
Amen. 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 So we'll be practicing what's called compassionate experiential education. And we will be learning from one another. And
so you're going to teach me something, Michael?
Well, no, you're going to teach yourself.
Oh, so that's the spiritual mechanic.
Exactly.
Okay, I get that.
So we'll have practical exercises, and we're going to be working in trios. That's why we're in threes.
Well, wait. Trio. What is a trio?
I'm glad you asked that. Okay. So each position has a name. So the person in the middle is the neutral.
Wait. This lovely lady right here, she's in the middle.
Reverend
what is your name? Reverend Leela. That's a beautiful name, Reverend.
It's the amazing Reverend Leela.
The awesome, amazing Reverend. Okay.
So her position in the middle is the neutral observer.
So everyone who's sitting in a middle seat, you would be a neutral observer.
Yes. If you could just raise your hand.
Raise your hand, please.
Everybody's conscious? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, everybody.
So what would we call them?
They will be the NO position, which means no advice, no counseling, no fixing. We know that deep within every person is the knower.
Oh, and no talking.
No talking. There we go. I like that.
Yes.
All right, good.
Only for a moment. Later on, you'll get a moment to share.
So you'll notice that all of us, the volunteers, are also practicing the skills in the trios, and we're going to talk about real life issues. So you'll have the chance to talk about your life as well.
Oh my God, Michael, there's so much that's been going on lately. Are you telling me somebody gonna listen to me?
That's right.
Okay, I'm ready. You in for it, little man. I'll tell you a lot.
Yeah, little Shia, he's gonna be in your trio. He needs a lot of help. So
Yeah, I need a lot of help.
You can handle it. So the sharer is sitting on the right side, on my right. So if the sharers could please raise your hand just to make sure we got all the sharers. There we go. The right, yeah, that's you, Asia. Yeah.
Asia.
Chairs were on the left.
Oh, that's good.
That's awesome.
I hear you, and I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. So I hear that you possibly didn't want to be in the sharer seat. Now,
I'm good.
okay, I understand.
Okay, good.
So once again, Michael, everybody in the sharer seat, let's make sure they understand.
And sharers.
Awesome,
All right,
recognize.
good. And then on the other right, which is the left, right? We have the facilitator. So Robbie, you're a facilitator. Okay.
What is a facilitator?
I'm glad you asked that question.
Okay.
The facilitator will be the person who will be reading the steps on the skill sheet. So it's not rocket science. All you have to do is just follow 1, 2, 3, 4. Just
Oh, so that's like back in elementary school.
There you go.
1, 2, 3. Anybody can do it. Anyone can be a facilitator. You just read 1, 2, 3.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. So everybody got that? Yeah? Okay, so let's review some guidelines. These are conditions for success. We have found that there are some principles and practices that make this go like really smooth. So one of them is confidentiality.
Yes. So, confidentiality means if it's not your story, don't go talking about that story.
We can let everybody be aware of self-regulated confidentiality. What occurs in your trio, let it stay in the trio. One exception to that might be is that if someone shares that they may want to harm themselves, we want to be supportive. We want to make sure that everybody gets the support that they need.
We are a family of love.
Yes.
And first and foremost, I must love you, even if it's breaking the confidentiality to ensure that you live to tomorrow when you might possibly then start to love yourself again. So I don't want to let you hurt yourself. But other than that, we're going to keep complete confidentiality so each and every one of us can feel free to get free.
Very good. This is your part right here.
Okay, that be my part? So it says, during circle sharing, speak only when holding the talking stick.
Now, short story about the talking stick.
First, you need to tell me what a circle sharing is.
Oh, circle sharing is after our trios, we're all going to break up into what we call 6EOs. So you're going to face the trio behind you, and we're going to do a circle. And then you'll be sharing in the circle.
Wait, now, hold on. We're in the Lord's house. That ain't nothing freaky, right? What that means is these 3 seats going to make a bigger circle.
There you go.
And then you guys going to share amongst that circle, like in a 2-minute cycle. Quickly, just what you gleaned or what you understood from that experience, right? And what we find is the more, Michael, others share with each other, the more it triggers like, yeah. And that was a little deeper for me too.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so, you will be speaking, you'll have 2 minutes to talk in a circle, and then you will pass the talking stick. Now, we have Marquise to thank for the talking stick. We went out looking for talking sticks, and Marquise said it was Halloween, so we got talking bones. He's right back there. You can thank him for the talking bones.
Thank you, Marquise. Yeah.
And when you are done, you will hear the Tibetan bell ring, and let's get a demonstration of the Tibetan bell from lovely Shaman. There you go. Okay. And that will signal the end of your 2 minutes, and then you will pass the talking bone to the person next to you. Okay?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
and when it's your turn to share, please speak respectfully and speak from your heart.
and be on time and honor the timing guidelines, because we are restrained by timeline. So if it's your 2 minutes, once you hear the Tibetan bell, please, wrap that up. And I thank y'all and pass the bone on so the next sharer can have their full allotted time. Some of us, we go long-winded.
We respect that you honor the timing guidelines, and also that you self-regulate side talking. Some of the discussions, the sharing is going to be really exciting, and you're going to want to carry on the conversation.
It looks beautiful back there.
You see what I mean?
You mean me? Oh. Okay, so none of that, right?
Self-regulate. Okay, you got the next one.
Yes. So, when you are in the facilitator's chair, do not advise the sharer. Support them finding their own inner wisdom. How many of y'all is tired of somebody else telling you what to do? Exactly. So therefore, I promise you, if you follow the guidelines, like this program has a divine entity governing it. If you just follow those, the person who is sharing will find their highest form of healing for themselves for the first time. And how many of y'all, when you get an idea, you will take it to the top of the mountain? Somebody else give you an idea, you'll take it to the foot of the mountain. We want you to go to the top of the mountain.
There you go. There you go. And also, we want to share with you a powerful intention for success. This is our group affirmation, and we're going to invite you to share with us in this affirmation. I'm going to ask the volunteers to model it first, and then we're all going to model it together. So here's our affirmation.
We are so flexible.
Right? So that means whatever happens, we just bless it, we name it good. We are so flexible. Would you like to join us in that intention? Okay, here we go. All together.
We are so flexible.
Yes,
yes,
we are indeed.
And the reason reason we use this mantra is because from the top of your brain to the soles of your feet, when you command it with your words, you allow the negatives of your past experience, the negatives of your old beliefs to wash away. Yes. Because you have commanded them with a newness, to try something new, to do something new, because you want to be free.
Amen. Amen. And so we have 4 ground rules. 4 ground rules. That's okay. Right. First one, take care of yourself so you can take care of others. Yes. Second one?
I thought that was you too.
No.
Okay. So, don't hurt yourself and don't hurt others.
Use everything for your upliftment, your growth, and your learning.
And number 4, y'all ready for this one? This is the most important one. Have fun.
Have fun. Yes.
Yes.
So if you agree to the ground rules, could you show your agreement by standing, please?
Everyone, please.
Have those in agreement, please stand.
You sure you agree? You about to fall down. You ready to do something like that?
Okay. And you notice we're standing too? Great. Very good. Thank you. You may be seated now.
Thank you.
So let's get started exploring the skill.
Okay.
Yes. So you will notice that you have a skill sheet. It is called Finding Your Freedom to Choose. Is it purple? Oh, you got the purple one. Oh, wow.
Everyone's
black and white.
Okay. So everyone, if you have your purple skill sheet, please let's give a hand up for recognition. So if anyone does not have theirs, we can get one. Okay, you have it. Okay. So everybody's ready, Michael.
Okay, very good. There's a quote by Viktor Frankl at the top of the page.
And it says, between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. And our response lies our growth and freedom.
And that's Viktor Frankl. So Viktor Frankl was a psychiatrist who lived through the Nazi concentration camps and taught us all an incredibly valuable concept, that we all have the freedom to choose our response, regardless of what's happening around us. As humans, we all have negative reactions, and learning to push the pause button so we can calm down and make a wise choice is a worthy challenge. We call this space between stimulus and response a freedom to choose moment.
Okay. So, respectful communication starts with listening with a caring attitude and confirming understanding of what you heard. Communicating effectively is a key to healthy relationships. This involves both ends of the conversation, respectful talking with others, and also listening respectfully. What is one of the biggest challenges in communicating? We do not really understand each other. How many of you have been talking and someone, you're sharing something and it seems like the person that is listening to you do not understand you? Yes. Okay. But we assume that we do. That creates misunderstanding and often results in unnecessary arguments and feelings.
So broadcast versus two-way communication. Broadcast communication means that one person speaks and everyone else silently listens. This is useful for speaking to large groups, TV shows, etc., radio shows. Note, the speaker has no way of knowing if the audience understood. But with two-way communication, that means that two people engage in an interactive dialogue. The speaker pauses to confirm that the listener understood, and the listener actively communicates what they understood. So two-way communication promotes authentic connection and respect. So here are some keys for respectful communication.
Okay, so first key, listen carefully to what your partner is saying. Not just the words, but the emotions and the meaning underneath. A lot of communication is expressed in body language, voice tone, and volume.
Share with your partner what you understood that they said. For example, I heard you say blank. Did I understand what you mean? An attitude of openness is important.
If your understanding was accurate, ask your partner to continue. So if I say, so Michael, you said today you would like to be done on time.
That's accurate. That's exactly what I said.
Well, let's move forward.
All right, let's do that. And if you understood was not accurate, if what you understood was not accurate, ask your partner to say it again, perhaps in a different way.
Sometimes people are shy when first sharing from their heart. Let them know you are with them, that you understand and care about what they are saying. You can also ask questions such as, that's interesting. Can you tell me more about that?
And note, if your partner talks without pausing, it's fine to ask them in a respectful way, could you please pause for a moment? I want to make sure that I really understand you.
Michael, I'm just so excited to be here, and I'm just trying to tell you everything that's going on right now.
Could you just pause for a moment? I just want to make sure that I'm here.
Okay,
Hey,
I got you. It is also important to communicate the feelings that you hear without trying to get the other person to change them. For example, how do you feel about that? Or, it sounds like you're feeling afraid. Is that accurate?
Finally, practice listening without opinion. Many times your opinion is not needed, and many people find it more useful to discover their own answer. So here are some ways to express that you are understanding without adding agreement or an opinion. I hear what you're saying.
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're talking about. It sounds that it means.
And I really get where you're coming from, Cornelius.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
So avoid giving advice or trying to fix their problems. Remember that every individual has that knower within them and is capable of touching that place, and we're supporting them in finding their own inner wisdom.
Yes.
So let's practice.
Awesome. Now this is the time we've been waiting for. However, time is preventing Michael and I from going through that, right?
Hey, we don't need a demo. I think you're going to find this really easy, and we want to afford you the maximum amount of time in your trios so that we'll have time for large group sharing afterwards. So let's get this part.
Plus, all of you have a professional in the chair with you that's going to help you go through this.
There you go. So, how about I go through the let's practice segment? Is that okay?
Sure.
All right, let's do it. So, number one, the facilitator will ask the questions and the sharer will answer the questions. The neutral observer will quietly listen, and the Freedom to Choose volunteers can quietly coach if needed. So for all trio partners, you will ask for the assistance of Spirit, God, your highest power, for the highest good. For the facilitator, while practicing the keys for respectful communication, invite your partner to answer the following questions. 1. What does Viktor Frankl's quote on the first page of this skill sheet mean to you? B. What if you could push the pause button when you get upset or reactive? Your freedom to choose moment. How would that be valuable for you? C. Can you think of a recent example of a freedom to choose moment in your life? When you were able to pause during a reaction and choose your response calmly. Or do you know someone who has? And note, if you spot it,
you got it.
What strengths can you find in yourself when you did that? Example, courage, willingness, clear intention, etc. And as you look back on the past week, what was a time that finding a freedom to choose moment would have been helpful? F, recognizing that you have the freedom to choose your response, what are some other possible choices you could make in the future in a similar situation? And finally, G, how might your life be different if you could do this consistently?
Yes, yes.
Sound easy enough? So let's arrange our chairs into trio format. There should be a Freedom Choose volunteer in each trio or a mentor who can assist you in doing that.
So you guys turn in.
Okay, so now you are sitting in the positions as sharer, facilitator, and observer. You get to practice in each of the three seats. Now, humans seem to be designed so that when your heart opens, your eyes might leak. So there are tissue boxes underneath the seat, and please feel free to use those whenever needed. And if someone needs a tissue box, please allow them to reach for it themselves. I know sometimes it makes us uncomfortable when people's eyes start leaking, but allow people the dignity of their process and let them get their own tissue. Thank you.
So, is this on?
Yes.
I'm not as tall as Cornelius. So once again, we just want to review what the different positions are so that you guys are all clear. So when you are the facilitator on the, what's Alicia? Left? Right?
They are.
Oh, the facilitator's on this side. You are the facilitator. So your job is just to go through the handout, just to read the questions as they're written, and really practice your respectful communication by just listening as deeply as you can to what the person sharing is saying.
Shamin will be the timekeeper, and when you are the sharer, just answer the questions in an open and honest way.
And when you're the neutral observer, as they talked about a minute ago, you really want to just hold in silence. And you know, when I'm sitting in the neutral observer chair, I love to just affirm inside myself that I'm active, I'm alert, I'm enthusiastically listening, and I'm holding a safe space for the people that are talking.
And before the beginning of each trio, we will do a brief centering process. So that includes just gently closing your eyelids, asking for the assistance of Spirit, God, your highest power. And we embrace all faiths, and we encourage you to do that silently in any way that's comfortable for you. Okay? And one option is to ask the wise part of yourself to assist you in this process.
So we're going to talk a little bit about the timing of the trios. So the whole purpose of this is that each one of you is going to get to rotate into each seat. So we'll do a short segment, then we'll coach you through, prompt you through rotating. So our timing for the trios are going to be 7 minutes, plus 3 minutes, and 3 minutes. So the first 7 minutes, the sharer is going to be going through those questions and answering them. And then when I hit that lovely gong, then you'll have 3 minutes to complete that process. And then the last 3 minutes, when you hear the gong the second time, is going to be for you guys to all share your learnings and your experience in the trio. And that's when the neutral observer talks. All right? Is everybody clear? Anybody have any questions about that?
So,
Yes, Karen?
all the questions. You start at number 1 and number 2, just all the way down the process. Very good question, Ken. Thank you so much.
Does anybody else have questions about it before we get started?
Yes.
Please.
Yes, yes, yep, all the way down.
And just remember, you can read it off the page. Just
Right.
trust the process because this works and we work it all the time. Right, volunteers? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So, you ready? So I'm going to ask you all just to become very, very still. Cornelius. Become very, very still. Close your eyelids. Everyone take a deep breath and connect with your heart. Set an intention for learning and healing. Ask for the assistance of Spirit, God, your higher power. And when you're ready, please begin.
What it means to me is learning more life So when you sit there, you when I'm active, I believe it's that's when I want to talk to you. So I can just keep that in mind. That's my opportunity. I wish I could experience that space or know someone be able to say, all
in my job, I like
if I can actually apply that, like get my First guy $1,000. Second guy is sitting back. This guy $1,000 makes it.
I got my